And stand. Walk on.
This is the first time we have driven Kiss through the village, and as you can hear, it is Peter's turn to drive her. It all seems quiet today, which will give Kiss a chance to see things with blinkers on for the first time. I have walked her through the village in hand and have taken the time she has needed for her to investigate all the unusual things, noises, people and traffic. So now we will see how her self-confidence is in this unfamiliar environment. Here you will see that the red strip across the road is not a problem, and she happily goes past the parked vehicles. You can also hear a few dogs barking in the background. She trots on nicely up the humpback bridge. She slows down from the voice for the downward descent of the bridge. Now this is the first time she's had to hold the trap back using her breeching. This is a new experience for Kiss, having these two cars pass her from behind. Remember, she can't see them coming, only hear them at the last minute. Now this will be a test, as it's the first time she has met a lorry while she's in harness. As you can see, it is quite a squeeze as the lorry keeps on coming. Very well handled, Kiss. Good girl.
And trot on.
She trots on nicely, which shows the lorry has not upset her self-confidence.
Trot on.
In a moment you'll see she lowers her head to check out the white road markings, as she has not seen them before, because when I walked her in hand the council had only just re-tarmacked the road, so all the road markings and the different surfaces are all brand new to her. She has not had a chance to walk across them before, so understandably she is wanting to check them out.
It didn't have this surface on when I walked her through the village. This is all brand new. The white lines and the yellow door.
Yeah.
They've just re-tarmacked it the other week, but that wasn't there before.
We are now turning into the pavilion. Last time we were here, she was in hand, and there was a big festival going on with lots of activity and people, which was all very good education for Kiss. That was a nice downward transition to walk. You might have noticed on our last video of Kiss, when she was driving in the arena, she shook her head quite a bit on transitions. It was her way of showing us she was anxious about something, which is only to be expected then, as she had only been driving for a week at that time. So we are pleased how she has come through the village so far today, as she is trying her very best to control her emotions. That was a nice walk across the drainage grills in front of the pavilion. Good girl.
And trot on. Steady, steady. Trot on. Steady. And whoa.
She stands nicely at the T-junction, and notice we only have to ask her once, which is very good for such a young pony. She does not even need correcting when a cyclist whizzes by. And she only moves off when instructed to do so. Well done. She maintains walk even though we are heading towards home.
Good evening.
Oops, she slipped on the drain, but as you see, she's not bothered about it at all.
Walk, walk, walk. And trot on.
Peter has noticed she has increased her pace, so asks her to steady. Notice how she tends to toss her head, so he brings her back to walk. We understand she might be anxious, but we want to teach her the answer is not to rush and push on her bubble. All the time we are aware of taking care of the connection and trust she needs with her to drive in every situation that comes up. Just like the big digger that we have just passed, which she handled very well.
And trot on. Trot on.
That was quite a lot of traffic for a pony that's not used to traffic and is only 3.5 years old.
Trot it over the drain, man. And whoa.
She looks to be settling again now. I like the way she lowers her head and walks calmly over the writing on the road. She does not feel the need to rush over it like so many horses do.
No problem. Walk.
We are just about to trot up the hill, but we have to stop quickly when we see the reversing lights come on the 4x4 in front of us. So we have to ask Kiss to back up, which she does quite nicely, as I am quite sure she did not expect to be asked to suddenly back up in the middle of the traffic.
Stand.
She then has to stand and wait for a very large sheep lorry to come over the bridge. She does step to the side a bit so she can get a better look at it, but she does not panic. At no time did we feel the need that we had to go to her head, as we knew she would be okay. Even when the next trailer goes past, she stands and waits and listens to Peter the whole time. How many ponies, or drivers to come to that, would have coped like that on their first drive through the village? We are very proud of her.
Now. Good.
As you can see, she happily walks off down the bridge. If you had seen her then, you would not have known what she had just experienced. What a good little pony she is. We are now turning off to go down the steep slope onto a side street. Notice she has no objections about turning away from home. She did a nice soft turn, and from just a suggestion and no tossing of her head.
Walk.
This is quite a narrow street with lots of building renovation going on. She goes past all the builders' sacks on the floor on both sides of the street. Notice the reins have slack in them, so we can read her confidence levels. We like to leave her alone whilst she is doing the right thing. Very nicely done, Kiss. That was a very nice walk and a transition to stand at the junction. Good girl.
Stand. Walk on. Okay, so
For some reason, Kiss perceives the pile of black rubbish sacks on the right as a danger, and she rushes forward. Now obviously, we can't let this reaction go uncorrected. It is up to us to show her the right answer to any perceived danger. Peter asks her back, and Kiss does this quite nicely. She can now stop and look at the sacks. He then asks her to come over, so she can advance towards them to check them out. Notice he only asks one step at a time to give her time to process it without any pressure. At no time does she back off from them. In fact, she advances towards them of her own accord to sniff them. This shows us she has no fear of them. She will remember this experience in the future, and I must say she handled that very well indeed.
Come over. Good.
And off we go.
Good.
A lot of people would have let their horses shoot past the sacks without correction, and then they would wonder why their horse would not stand still quietly at the junction like Kiss has done. All you need then is a lorry to come past whilst the horse is still holding lots of anxiety and tension.
Stand. Good girl. Stand. And walk on. Good girl. Trot on.
We have decided to take Kiss through the village for a second time, so she can see it all again, and we can see how she feels about it too.
Good girl. Trot on. Come on, trot on.
All the time we are watching to see if she holds any anxiety in any particular place, and if she is behaving more confidently than she did the first time we went through.
Good girl. Trot on. Steady. Steady. Good girl.
We decide to turn off to the right to see if she objects that we are not following the same route as before, and as you'll see, she has no objections to our request at all and accepts it nicely. She does a nice turn here.
Good girl. There's a good girl. Good girl. Trot on. Walk on. Good girl.
Right.
Just turning round. She's a new pony. It's the first time she's been through the village. Come over.
And here she does a very nice turn, so we can go back towards the junction.
Yeah.
Notice she maintains gait the whole time and looks as though she had been driving for a few years and not just a few weeks. We notice she shakes her head a little, showing us her emotions are urging her to go faster, but her obedience is keeping her in walk. Only hours of good experiences and mileage on a clock will improve her emotional fitness, but it is still early days for her yet.
And woohoo, stand.
She comes to a nice stand and waits. Good girl.
Good girl.
I was just saying, instead of going into the pavilion again, you're going to go right
Go
hand.
on.
Notice how different she is about the road markings and coloured surfaces on the road the second time around.
Shut on. Shut on. Good girl. Shut
We
on.
now have a lorry coming, and as you can see, she goes past it without a problem.
Good girl.
Look at how loose the reins are
Good girl.
and how straight she keeps herself.
Shut on.
There is no need for correction as she passes the lorry with complete self-confidence and not from physical force from being held by the reins. Not many ponies can do that on their first driving traffic.
Shut on.
We are just passing the school and a play park, and some children have just jumped off the swings and came running across towards the fence. Kiss has sensed this and moved out, so Peter puts her back in the correct position. She has sped up as she can't see what is happening with blinkers on. You can hear she is holding anxiety from her rapid trot. So we have taken note of this and have decided to turn her now rather than let her feel anxious for too long. And she will then be able to see the children playing in the fields as we pass them again.
And waffle. Stand. Come over. Good girl. Come over. Good girl. Now walk. Walk.
Notice she is needing second instructions to keep him walk. Horses, like people, become hard of hearing when they are worried, but all the time Peter stays calm and persistent in his request to help Kiss through this, which is so important to a young horse. Rather than getting louder with the voice and the aids, all the time we are trying to be understanding to her emotional needs, but firm when necessary, to teach her that she will not come to any harm if she listens to her leaders, and we are there to help her.
Stand.
After several times asking her to stay and walk, she is not taking her responsibility of keeping in pace, so it is time to do something different. If you keep doing the same thing and not getting what you want, it then turns into nagging, and you know yourself you soon shut off and take no notice.
Walk. Miss that sheep.
Oh, I thought he was going to come this way then.
Yeah.
Notice how her walk has slowed a bit because we've asked her to stand for a while, and she's looking more relaxed even though we are passing the place where the children were on the swings, and that was the cause of the unsettling of her in the beginning. Can you see the children hanging on the fence as we pass?
And are we coming?
All the time we are taking note of what Kiss is telling us, what she thinks to this area, so we will be back here many times to help her gain the self-confidence she needs to build to enable her to enjoy her driving career.
Steady.
She trots over the drain without slipping. It would not even enter Kiss or Tell's head to go round or try to avoid drain covers, as we have taught them to walk over them right from the very beginning.
Steady. Got the big drain coming up. Good girl. No problems.
She is now starting to relax again, and she blows her nose, which is a good sign.
Steady. Good girl. Trot on.
There is a family with a little girl and a pushchair coming down the bridge, which is another new challenge for Kiss.
Come on, trot on, girl.
As you see, there is no problem. There's no need to shy or spook at them.
And whoa. That's why you have to walk. Good girl.
We both think Kiss has done exceptionally well for her first drive through the village, as she has coped with everything that has come across her path, and it has also highlighted to us what areas we need to spend more time in.
Good girl.
We did not plan to expose her to quite so much traffic on her first drive, but horse training is all about preparing for the unexpected.
Nice turn.
Oh, tanker as well. Look.
Pardon?
Oil tanker.
Yeah. I think it's going to rain.
Here is the oil tanker we passed earlier on the road.
Trot on.
She does not mind the loud noises coming from it as we pass.
Good girl.
Well done, Kiss. You have tried very hard to please us, and you can go home now and tell Yolo and Tell all about it. You are such a very good pony.